Very good morning, dear students. In the lesson Laws of Motion, today we shall learn how to draw a graph of distance time graph for uniform motion. But before we try to draw the graph, we need to recall certain things about the graph. Now, if you look at the graph carefully, you will find squares like this, right? And each square is 1 square centimeter. That means within this square, if you see horizontally, there are 10 lines, and vertically also there are 10 lines. And each of this small box, okay, is 1 millimeter square. So altogether there are 100 small squares which make up to 1 square centimeter. Right? So this is regarding 1 square centimeter, and like that there are many square centimeters in the graph. Now when we have to plot a graph, we need to take two lines. One is a horizontal line and another is a vertical line. So they are called as axes. Horizontal line is also called as x-axis and vertical line is called as y-axis, like this. So horizontal axis is called as x-axis and vertical axis is called as y-axis. And when these two axes or these horizontal lines, wherever they are intersecting, this point is called as origin. Okay, this point is called as origin. Fine. Now whenever we have to draw a graph, we need to take a certain scale. Okay, each of these 1 square centimeter we can give a different scale, maybe of ones, maybe of twos, depends upon the type of the graph and the demand of the graph. Okay, so we need to choose a certain scale, and then we need to write here on top about the scale. What is the scale of the graph? That is 1 centimeter is equal to dash on the x-axis and 1 centimeter is equal to dash on the y-axis. So this way first we have to keep the graph ready, and then we have to write a particular scale here. Now why we need to learn graph or why we need to draw a graph? It's because graph provides a convenient method to present basic information about variety of events. Okay, so I repeat, graph provides convenient method to present basic information about variety of events. Like for example, suppose in a class teacher has given scores or you have achieved got marks in certain subjects. Okay, and there are so many subjects, and class teacher has to remember all the all different students, what are their marks and all. Okay, so it is not easy for the teacher to keep in mind the full record. So if she has a record in the form of a graph, it would be a very useful information. Like for example, suppose in science, you have got, there was a class test conducted, for example, for 10 marks suppose. So some students must have scored highest or maybe full marks. Some must have scored in between, okay, average ones, and some even must be scoring 0 mark. So a teacher has to know the full record of the students' marks. So how she can remember? So she can keep it in mind by by recording on a graph. She can be able to recall or she will be able to know how many students have scored 0 mark, how many students have scored 5 mark, or maybe full out marks, and so on. So here she can make it in a simplified manner. For example, marks she can write it on the x-axis, and the number of students scoring those marks can be plotted on the y-axis, and then it can be found out easily. So for this is an example how to why graph is a simplified manner to present certain information of the different variety of events. Okay, so by looking at the graph we come to know what exactly it means, how much, what is the data about. Okay, so therefore graph is very important here. In our science we need to learn two different types of graphs, that is one is DT graph. Okay, one is DT graph, another is VT graph. Okay, now what is the DT and VT graph? DT is distance time graph and VT is velocity time graph. So let's first learn about the DT graph. How we can learn about the DT graph or distance time graph? Okay, so distance time graph, for that we need to take time and distance on the two axes. So which axis I have to choose? Okay, can I write distance on x-axis and time on y-axis, or time on x-axis and distance on y-axis? So I cannot choose like that. What I have to do is that I have to take into consideration one rule, that is x-axis is called as the independent variable, whereas the y-axis is called as a dependent variable. Now what is that independent and dependent? So independent means it does not depend on anything, whereas dependent means the one which depends on the independent variable. Here if you see distance and time, time is the independent variable. That means it does not depend on anything. Time goes on. Okay, and distance can depend on time. Okay, when you're covering a certain distance, you might be walking, or you might be running, you might be sleeping, taking rest. So it depends. Distance will distance depends on the time. Time does not depend on the distance, and therefore when we are taking on the variables on the x-axis and y-axis, we need to keep into consideration which parameter of the two given will be coming on the x-axis. Always remember, time, if there is time will be always plotted on the x-axis, since it is independent of every one. So time will be always plotted here. Okay, time in here in bracket, always you have to write what is the unit. So time is measured in seconds, or sometimes if the data is given in minutes, you have to write in minutes. If it is given in hours, you have to write in hours, right? So time, since it is independent variable, you will be plotting it on the x-axis, whereas distance is a dependent variable, so you will be plotting it on the y-axis. So distance is measured in meters or maybe kilometers. So let's take now example. Now for example, I will first write the scale here. Time in seconds, I will take 1 square centimeter as 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. Let's suppose this x-axis shows the time in seconds from 1 to 10. Whereas distance in meters, let us take it as 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, okay, 4 meters, 5, 6, 7 and so on. Now let's suppose now an object, okay, let's suppose the object is somewhere here, okay, object is somewhere here. Now how to find out the speed of this object? Let's suppose that object has reached to this point, and let that point be A. What is the speed of this point? Okay, how we can find out the speed of this point which has covered a certain distance in certain time interval? Okay, so let that point which is plotted here, we will find out about the speed. And you have learned the formula of the speed is that speed is equal to distance upon time. Correct? Speed is equal to distance upon distance upon time, that is d upon t. And now let's see how much is the distance covered by this object A. Okay, so that object has covered distance around 4. Okay, and this distance is given in terms of meters. So the object has covered 4 meters, and on x-axis if you see, what is the time? Time is 4. Okay, time is 4 seconds. Okay, time is 4 seconds. That means it has covered a distance of 4 meters in 4 seconds. That means what is the speed of it? The speed of this is nothing but 1 meter per second. Okay, 1 meter per second. Now let's take another point. Let's suppose this point is here. Okay, now that point, let it be B. Okay, let's find out what is the distance here of this point. This point is at 6 meters. If you see from the origin, it is at 6 meters. Okay, and if you try to see it on the x-axis, it is 5 and 6. So here also it is 6 meters. So again the speed, if you calculate, okay, the speed will be again 6 upon 6. Speed will be equal to distance upon time, which is equal to 6 upon 6, which is also equal to 1 meters per second. Now if you see carefully, if you see distance time graph, what does it give us? Okay, it tells us about, when you are plotting a graph, you will get the speed of the, you can find out from the distance time graph the speed of the moving object. Okay, so here we have taken now the 2 points A and B. Now let's suppose the car has started from O, okay, and it has reached to a certain point. How we can find out the speed? Let's try that also. But before we go into the next part, we need to write a scale like this, as I mentioned to you. So first you have to write what is the scale on x-axis as well as on the y-axis. Now if you see 1 centimeter, so 1 centimeter on x-axis, if you see, this is 1 centimeter, this much is called as 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter, if you see, after 1, it is 1 second. So what you have to write here on the scale? You will have to write here as 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit, or maybe 1 second, 1 unit, or you can either write 1 unit or 1 second on x-axis, and how we are going to write on the y-axis. Here also 1 centimeter is 1 unit, but that 1 unit is 1 meter on y-axis. So what you will write here? 1 meter on y-axis. Okay, so that is regarding x-axis and y-axis. You have to remember to write like this. Is that clear, students? Okay, so now let's proceed further. Now let's suppose the car has started from a rest position, that is from O here, and it has covered 2 different distances. Okay, here 1 point here and another point here, suppose. So let this point be A and this point be B. Okay, now how to find out the speed of this? Okay, how to find out the speed of this? What we have to do is that we have to draw the... Now let's suppose the car has started from the rest position O and it has started moving. Let's take random points here on the graph and try to find out how we can find out the speed of the moving vehicle. Let this point be A here and let this point be P here. How we can find out how much is the speed between this much distance, whatever it has covered? How we can find out that? Okay, so for that we need to know where exactly this point is lying on the x-axis and on the y-axis. That is, we need to find out the coordinates of this point. Coordinate means the position of a particular point on the graph. Okay, which will give you the speed of A to B. Okay, how much is the speed of this? And for that we need to know what is the what are the coordinates of these 2 points on x-axis and on y-axis. So let's suppose the coordinate of A is nothing but x1. Okay, so here it will be meeting down. So let this be t1. Sorry, this will be, it has covered the distance x1 in the time interval t1. Okay, so let this be its distance and let this be time t1. Okay, whereas here it has covered, maybe this point it has covered in time t2, that is this, covered a distance of x2. Okay, now how we can find out the speed? Okay, how we can find out the speed of this here? Speed formula, you know, speed is equal to distance upon time. Correct? Speed is equal to distance upon time. And to find out the distance over here, from here to here, how we can find out? Here this second distance is larger distance because it is more distance. Okay, so when we have to find out the distance here between the 2 points, we have to take a difference between these two. So it will be like x2 minus x1. Okay, so x2 minus distance will be, we have to find out by x2 minus x1. And time, how we can find out? Time we can find out from t2 minus t1. Okay, t2 minus t1. Now how, now let's suppose this time, okay, what it has covered is around maybe 4 seconds, and this, suppose let this be 6 seconds. Okay, 4 and 6 seconds up to from here to here, and let this be around 5 and 6. Okay, 5 and 6 meters, 5 meters and 6 meters, let's suppose. So what will be the speed here? How we can find out the speed? Just have to do this, x2 minus x1. x2 over here is 6 and x1 is 5. So 6 minus 5 will become 1. Okay, 1 upon, okay, time is, seconds are 6 and 4. So 6 minus 4 becomes 2. So what is its speed? Speed is 1 by 2 meters per second, or 0.5 meters per second. So this way also you can find out the speed in between also, from here to here, when the car has already started moving, and if you have to find out the the speed of the car at 2 different points, you can easily find out by using this way also. First we have done what? We have done first by taking a point randomly and trying to find out the distance of these 2 points at 2 different places. Okay, whereas here we can also, we have just now learned about when 2 points are given, how we can find out the distance, the speed between these 2 points. Fine students, I hope so you have understood. Now let's study, once you have understood this basic information, now it will be very easy for you to learn the distance time graph. So let's see what the distance time graph, it is given in your textbook. Now here is your distance time graph given, here you have to plot on your textbook and find out whether it is a type of uniform motion or non-uniform motion. Now to make you recall, you have learnt last time about uniform motion. Uniform motion is nothing but equal distance, when any moving object covers equal distances and equal intervals of time. Like for example, a car is traveling from point A to point B 2 meters, from B to C 2 meters, and so on, in 1 second, 1 second, 1 second every time. So what will be the speed? Speed will be 2 meters per 2 meters per second. So that will be constant speed or uniform speed. So that type of motion is called a uniform motion, right? So let's take, let's try to find out whether we can have a constant or uniform motion and what type of a graph it will be. Okay, so here is a data given of a car. Okay, distance is covered by a car in fixed time intervals. Okay, draw a graph of distance against time, taking time along the x-axis and distance along the y-axis. So you have learnt in a y it is drawn on x, time is drawn on x-axis and distance on y-axis. So this is your graph, and here is the data which is given, time in seconds and distances in meters. So 0 means the origin, okay, so 0 means the origin here, and distance in meters is given on the y-axis. So in time 10 seconds, okay, time 10 seconds it is covering 15, okay, but the scale which is given here is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 and so on. That means 1 centimeter is given as 20 meters, whereas 1 centimeter on x-axis is given as 10 seconds. Fine. So though it is given here 15, you may not be drawing always the same numbers. You can take multiples of 10, multiples of 2, multiples of 1, 5 and so on. Here it is the multiple of 20 it is taken. So 20, 40. So each centimeter is 20 meters. So where will be 15 meters? That we have to find out. Very easy. First of all, you know that each square, okay, each square, as I have told you, is 1 square centimeter. That means there are within each of these there are 10 lines altogether. 100 squares are there, and each square is 1 square millimeter, 1 millimeter square, right? So if you see, these are 10 lines are there in between. So you will have to divide 20 by 10. 20 by 10 will give you 2 meters. Okay, so each millimeter will be 2 meters, right? So therefore, to find out 15 meters, it is very easy. Half of this, that means this line, fifth line, will be 10 meters. So 15 meters will be, okay, each millimeter, each line is 2 millimeters. So 2 meters. So this will be 10, 12, 14. This will be 16. So it will come between 14 and 16, somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here like this point. Fine, so this will be around 15 meters in 10 seconds. Then the next data is in 20 seconds it has covered around 30 meters. Okay, so 30 meters is easy because it will be the middle line of 20 and 40 will be 30. That is somewhere here. Okay, here. Fine. So like that you have to go on plotting, okay, till whatever data is given. So let me plot and keep finally. So if you will plot the points like this, you will get like this all the points, okay. For 10 seconds it is 15 meters, it has covered 15 meters. For 20 seconds it has covered 30 meters. For 30 seconds it has, after 30 seconds it has covered 45. For 40 seconds, after 40 seconds it is covered 60 meters and so on till 105 by 70 seconds. So it has covered the distance like this. Now when we have to just draw the line and find out what type of a graph, whether it is a straight line or we are not getting a straight line. So we are getting a straight line here. So that means this straight line shows us that the car which is moving at, it is covering equal distances and equal intervals of time. So when you are getting a straight line like this, you should understand that it is a type of uniform motion. So a straight line indicates that the object has covered uniform motion. So this distance time graph is of the uniform motion. Is that clear, students? And the slope of this uniform motion can give you the speed of the vehicle or speed of the moving object. Is that clear, students? So this is of the uniform motion. Let's now see another one. So here it is given also. When an object in uniform motion covers equal distance, equal intervals of time. So thus the graph between distance and time is a straight line graph. So remember, straight line graph indicates that it is a uniform motion. Now here a question is there, use your brain power, though it is cancelled but you should know it. In the distance time graph above, what does the slope of the straight line indicate? As I mentioned to you just now, the slope of the straight line indicates the speed of the vehicle. So the speed here was 15, it was covering 15 meters in 10 seconds. Okay, so that means the speed of the previous graph was 1.5 meters per second every time. 15 divided by 10 if you do, you will get 1.5. Then 30 divided by 20, you will get again 1.5, and therefore the speed is uniform, that was 1.5 meters per second. So since it is covering equal distance, equal time, definitely you will get the speed also constant or uniform. Okay, now let's see this one, another data. Here it is given of the bus, okay, distance covered by a bus in like equal time intervals. Okay, draw a graph of distance against time, taking the time along the x-axis and distance along the y-axis. Draw the graph. Okay, so here let's see the data, how it is given. The data is 0 in 0 seconds, 0 distance, that means it has started from the rest. Then in 5 seconds, now the time interval is of 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, 5, 10, 15, multiples of 5. So that means the equal time interval is of the 5 second difference. Okay, and distance in meters is 7 in the first 5 seconds, 12 in the next 10 seconds, 20 in 15 seconds, and so on. Okay, how to plot the graph, that we will see now. Here again what you have to do is that you have to take the scale, you have to draw the x-axis and the y-axis, and then you have to find out whether it is a straight line or whether it is not a straight line. Let's see what type of a graph it is. So for plotting the graph, first you need to write like this every time whenever you are drawing a graph. Time on the x-axis, time in seconds along with the unit. X-axis here 0, 0 means origin on both the sides. Okay, and distance in meters. Every time you have to write the scale. Now here what I am going to use the scale on x-axis is 5 seconds for 1 centimeter. And on y-axis 10 meters is 1 centimeter. Okay, so 1 centimeter will be 10 meters. I have chosen this scale. So you can choose even 5 meters on y-axis. It depends. But then you have to know then each millimeter will be how much. You just have to divide 1 centimeter by these 10 units, and then you will get the each millimeter as that scale. Okay, so since 10 is easier, I have taken 10. Okay, so now what you have to do is that each centimeter you have to mark on the x-axis as well as on the y-axis. If you want a bigger graph, then you will have to choose little smaller scale. But I'm drawing a small graph here, so I have chosen bigger scale. Fine. Now here I have plotted like this, and the final data which is given for distance is 58 meters. So therefore I have written up to 60, and here 35 you can write up to 40, no problem. Okay, and now what you have to do is that you have to start plotting the graph as I mentioned to you. First of all, you find out what will be each millimeter here. Here each millimeter will be, okay, 10 divided by 10, it will be 1. Okay, so that means the 7 meter will be the 7th line. Okay, 7 meter will be 7th line. Fine. And of course this is not required because it is directly 5, 10, 15. Since it is equal, there is no need to go on calculating or counting each of the millimeters. So directly you can plot like this. So 7, where is 7 meters? Let's see. So 7 will be somewhere here. Okay, this is 5. The middle line is 5 meters. Then just 2 more will be 7. Fine. And here timing 10 for 5 seconds, it has traveled 7 meters. Okay, so like that you have to plot all the points. Now I have plotted all the points according to the data which is given. We have to find out whether we are getting a straight line. For that you have to use a ruler. So if it is a straight line, then again it will be a uniform motion. But if you see over here, you are not getting a straight line because some points are coming, some points are not coming. You can see, since some points are not coming, it will not be a straight line. So that means what type of a graph it is? Let's see, we have to draw freehand from here. That is from 0, we have to start like this, okay, and then just go on. Okay, just go on joining the points. Now if you see here, you are not getting a straight line, but you are getting somewhat curved line. So this curved line indicates that it is not a uniform motion. That means it has not covered equal distances in equal intervals of time. And even from the data you come to know that it is not a uniform motion, right? So from the graph it is very clear that it is not a uniform motion. So when it is a curved line, you have to say that it is a type of non-uniform motion. Is that clear, students? So this is regarding the uniform and non-uniform motion. Now these are two different types what we are only going to learn this time, but next time we are going to learn about the next type of graph, that is velocity time graph. But in this, what we have learned now, what is graph, why graph is important, how graph can be plotted, okay, what type of graphs we have to learn, that is distance time graph and velocity time graph. Now where we have to plot the time on x-axis and on y-axis distance, how we can use the particular scale and how we have to write the scale here, we have learned nicely today. Right? Now you have also learned that the slope of the graph of distance time graph gives you the speed. Is that clear? If the slope is a straight line, then it is a uniform motion. If it is a curved line, then it is a non-uniform motion. So I hope so you have understood. What you have to do is that you have to draw these two graphs in your textbook. Okay, dear student, this is for your homework today. Now even there is, now suppose these two graphs I've shown, one is uniform motion and non-uniform motion, straight line and curved. Now sometimes what happens, suppose a vehicle or a moving object has started moving, and after 6 seconds or 6 seconds or maybe 6 seconds, it has covered a distance of around 4 meters, suppose, okay, and after that it has gone into a rest. It has gone into a rest. That means after 4 meters it has just stopped. Now time will go on 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds. Now in such a case, what type of graph you are going to get? What you are going to get is, you will have like this, okay, graph, okay. So here the car has moved like this. Car has moved and reached to around 4 meters, okay, that means up to here it has reached, and in this time, and then after 4 meters it has gone into rest. Time will be going on changing, but the car is not moving further. If the car would have moved, it would have gone like this up. Okay, the graph would have been like this. Now this type of graph, whenever shown like this, that the parallel to the x-axis means the car has come to a rest, or a vehicle has come to a rest. This type of graph indicates. I hope so you have understood this also. So we can have even this type of graph, though it is not mentioned in your textbook, but you should be able to know. Fine. Thank you, dear students.